Hello, and welcome back. I am in Conan Exiles, patch 3.0. It has been out for about 10 days now. I have been playing it in single player, and I have been playing it on a server with vanilla settings. So I have a bit of experience with how to get through this patch, both in an admin mode way and as a person on a generic server. And I've come to some conclusions about this patch, so this is sort of a review of the good, bad, and the ugly aspects of patch 3.0. Now, first of all, I want to talk about quality of life features. Under good, I have that you can click through the opening movie now. It used to be very unreliable, and in fact, I have never been able to click through it, so I've always had to sit there and watch the movie the entire time, every time I open the game. But now I can quickly just click on the screen and it will go away. It is slightly delayed in that feature when you add mods to your game, so you'll have to wait for your mods to load up into the game. Then the movie will have a little glitch in it, and once that little glitch happens, you can click through it. Also, in the settings, under audio, we now have the option to lower the volume of the intro video, so that also helps. So even if for some reason you can't avoid having to watch the opening video, you can also lower the volume so it won't blast your ears out. Those are very well received features. Another quality of life feature is that you can now pick up your workbench with the thrall and everything in it and move it to another location without having to return it to your inventory, without having to destroy it or pick up everything in the bench. And there you have it. Everything is still there. And I have also noticed that while they are crafting, you can still pick it up and put it down, and it still will process the crafting that it was doing. And then another feature that I found out, which I think is not necessarily, I don't know if it's new or if I never noticed it, but I do notice it now. So I'm assuming it's new. I've asked around, other people don't remember it happening. So if I am running up to a cliff and I need to climb, I put away my weapon. When I get to the top, I take my weapon back out. So if I was in hot pursuit of something or someone, I could keep my weapon out as long as I'm running. Now, another quality of life thing that they brought was more animations, especially for when you're wielding weapons and with the tools and such. And they seem fine for the most part. But under the bad category, I'm going to call the female movement very awkward. In fact, I'm not even sure this one looks good on a male. So she looks like she's running like a man. I just have a little bit of a problem like that. But that's just a personal taste thing, I suppose. And I really don't have anything under the category of ugly for the quality of life features. I always love quality of life improvements on any game. So next we'll talk about the building system. This I have under good. I like the way it's laid out. It's very concise and clear as to where to find things. For the most part. There are still some things that I think should be under decor, but are not. But that's a personal preference. Once you get used to it, it's very easy to maneuver around this menu. I like the fact that there is a creative mode. It allows you to build whatever you want, whenever you want, without having to worry about the materials. And I also like that under the settings, server settings, building, You can enter creative mode not just for admins, but for everyone, or force for everyone. So those are really nice features. Plus, you can now allow building anywhere. There's a new checkbox here to add to your server, the ability to build anywhere. That might save us on some mods. So under bad, I kind of had just a few little things, just really little things, really. There is no search feature, so you know you're looking for something very specific, but you have to scroll through all this stuff to find it, figure out what category it's in, all that sort of thing. So yeah, we really need a search feature. I mean, we can search inside the crafting bench. Why can't we search within the building system? And also, it is at the very beginning, it's a little confusing to understand at first, especially if you're actually used to playing the game. And the other thing is that some items, not all, like the crafting benches you can pick up and move around, that's fine. But if you want to pick up a decor item, it will be destroyed and the materials will be given back to you. But that wasn't the point. You were trying to move them. And I don't really have anything ugly to say about the building system. It's just some very minor tweaks that I think we need to bring it up to a little bit more perfect. But overall, I really do enjoy the new building system. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the new perks and attributes revamp. And first of all, my impression of this is I really do like the new user interface. It is very clean and easy to understand. You can always hover over anything and find out what all the different perks and attributes are that you can get to. I really do like this. I also know that the corruption perks are limited to strength, vitality, and authority. They are not in any of these others, so it's a limitation of that, but it can be both good and bad. I think it's good for the most part that it's limited to just those three, so you really have to think about your build before you start spending your points. One of the bad things is that we've lost our immunity to poison feature that used to be down here under survival, the old survival game, and it's not here. You have to actually corrupt your attributes first before you can get to the immunity. In PvP, there is a lot of powerful perks in the corrupted attributes, but it seems that a non-corrupted player could take on a sorcerer without issues, according to some of the people that I have asked. And then under a fully corrupted sorcerer. So this is what I mean by a fully corrupted sorcerer build. This is where you have put all of your points into strength, vitality, authority, and you have leveled all of your corruption to its max. This is a very interesting play style. It does encourage you to have as many followers as you possibly can have. It's nice that you can have one extra follower with you, and then also at the end you do a lot of AoE damage abilities, and then you can also spawn a demon or two. I've had two come out in one battle at the same time, so the demons will come out and attack your enemies as well. But the downside to that is that your followers will attack your demon if they're not fighting anybody else. And if you want to do something else like going thralling, you're going to have to get out your respec potions and respec, because you don't want your demons to pop out and kill your thralls that you're trying to capture. Those are some of the bad parts about the sorcery. Now, the other thing about that is that There is no limit. Like I just showed you, you can have 100% corrupted attributes. All you need is soul essence, and there's no limit to how many soul essence you can have, so you can max it out. I'm not quite sure if that's going to be an overpowered build or not, especially if you're built around having as many followers as you can. I believe it's up to 3 followers right now. Plus you get your demons spawning, so it could be 4 to 5 followers. That could be pretty problematic. But it's sort of on the fence, I think. Okay, so speaking about sorcery, the good part is that it's easy to get the knowledge at the lower levels. You just have to run to the back of that cave and learn your skills. It's easy to level after you get past the level 2 requirements, and for several more levels, the materials are quite cheap and easy to find. I love the details on sorcery. You can tell right from looking at this bench that my Tome of Karak is inside the bench. Once I do remove it, it is gone from the bench. I love that detail. I like all of the animations that go along with casting, leveling, and all of that. Those are really great. Also, I do very much enjoy the transmog system. It's very useful, and it has been one of the more fun things to do, especially on the vanilla Conan server that I've been playing on. The bad thing about sorcery, it is kind of grindy at the lower level because you do have to get certain materials. You're going to have to start sacrificing people right away, so you're going to be out there grabbing thralls every day, putting them on there, and just repeatedly sacrificing them over and over and over and over and over again. Because once you have a sorcerer on your bench, you need to come up with these pages. And crafting these pages gives you a chance to have either a full sorcery page or a failed sorcery page. And you need to have 10 of those failed sorcerers pages in order to create one good one. So you're going to go through a lot of sacrificial blood to get these pages. We did find in the vanilla server that it is much more expedient and easier to do this method than to run around killing all the sorcerers in the lands. It's less time consuming in terms of travel and combat time than to go over to a nearby thrall camp and just drag everybody in here and sacrifice them all at once. Well, one right after the other. So that is sort of a thing that we found in the vanilla game. So that was part of the bad part of it. Also, I really do wish that the illusionary thing was available to everyone so that you were not forced into being a sorcerer just to have it. Another disadvantage to being a sorcerer is going to be that you're going to have to respec often. If you're out there getting thralls, you cannot be a fully corrupted sorcerer with a chance to spawn a demon who will then attack your thralls that you're trying to collect and kill them. So you're going to have to respec depending on what it is you're trying to accomplish. Now, the ugly part of sorcery is that the spells themselves are mostly utility, and it seems like being a sorcerer is like a flavor, with some spells being more party tricks than useful. Casting is slow, and it leaves your sorcerer too exposed for a long period of time. And that is just my opinion about it. It is kind of neat, but I don't find it to be very practical. The event system, the good is that it's new and different and it can be quite fun. The bad is that it's made for multiple players and or playing with fighters or followers, so if you tend to be a solo player, you're going to need some help somehow. Also, different events might have different difficulties, so there's no way to knowing which one it is until you get used to them, so bring a lot of bedrolls. The ugly is that according to the patch notes, the events can be disabled. However, I have not found the setting, and there are some complaints in the funcom forums that others have not found the setting in the settings panel. There may be something when you set up a server with a post, but I don't know which that is. I'm not one of those types of people, so I cannot turn the events off in my game. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the Battle Pass. And this does have good, bad, and ugly to it. Part of the good parts is that you can do this in single player, even in admin mode. This was confirmed on live stream from Funcom that they will allow this, so they're not going to ban people who do this. It resets every day with a 10x multiplier, in theory. There are some free items for people who do not buy the Battle Pass. You can do the challenges and get free stuff. You can earn back the Crom coins that you spend to buy another Battle Pass later. It's easy to progress from the first level of player abilities with basic gathering challenges. You can craft a stone weapon or tool and it will count for that activity. You can craft a cheap armor in the armorer's bench to count for that activity. Now the bad. This is grindy as all heck. It is frustrating and time consuming. A lot of mindless running around the map to gather for gathering quests. Think of the worst MMO quests ever. Yes, it's just like that. You cannot craft and trade items with someone who doesn't have the feat like we used to with the DLC. So what I mean by that is things that you learn in your ancestral skills, knowledge, the new stuff that you learn with your battle pass, you cannot trade it with others. And the reason why I call this bad is because with the old DLC, we could trade building pieces if we had the DLC and they didn't, and then they could build something with it. And it's not like it's really hurting anybody. It's just a good way to trade. So if I can trade an Argosian building, let's say, but I need a lot of dragon bones, I can ask somebody who's really good at getting dragon bones to give me lots of dragon bones and I'll give them some pieces from my Argosian knowledge. That's a good trade. So it's part of the player economy, let's say. So with these things, these special items that we can now craft with things we earn from the Battle Pass, we cannot trade these with anyone. They can't use it. You would have to come in and be part of their clan and place it down for them if they would like to use it. But you can't give it to them. They won't be able to use it. I don't really like that idea. So the ugly part of the Battle Pass is that for the first couple of levels, you get the prompt to complete the pass with purchasing of levels. So that to me means that it's a bit predatory because it's so grindy that you want to just be done with it. So you're willing to spend more money to be done with it. And that is done on purpose. There is no way anybody can tell me that that is not done on purpose. The other thing that is even uglier is that the daily multiplier is inconsistent. It does not always show up for me, even after the skills reset. There are threads in the Funcom forums about this. There are other people who report that they do not get their 10x multipliers. And so that means that I have to resort to admin mode and killing pits because it is just horrendous. It is just get me 10 of these, kill 10 of these, harvest 10 of these, consume something unique, all kinds of this, and it just repeats over and over and over again. So without the 10x multiplier, it is very hard to get to level 60, which is the end game of this Battle Pass. So I'm not sure what it is that I am doing wrong with this. I don't know if it's me that's causing me to not have a 10x multiplier every day. Am I not supposed to do these without the multiplier? I don't understand. Anyway, that is very frustrating. All right, so let's talk about this Bazaar. Here you have a bunch of items. They're all separately offered. They have time limits on them. They have sales on them. And you still have to use Crom coins to buy them. And they do rotate out, so they give you the impression that you might not ever see this again, even though they tell you that you're going to see it again at some point. But this is a tactic to get you to spend more money, really. And in the past, when we purchased DLC, you get a whole pack of stuff. I prefer DLCs. I don't understand why we had to switch to this method. I really don't see anything good about it, except that you can buy things directly. I also don't like the introduction of these tokens, these Crom coin tokens. That's a good way to make sure you that you forget how much money you're spending on their items in the game by making you spend Crom coins instead of dollars. If you saw a dollar amount here, you might be less inclined to purchase it. I find it predatory. I also find it to be very commonplace for anything owned by Tencent. I wish that we just had packs like we used to. So my overall impression of 3.0, this update has given new life to an old game. I think it will be fun to explore new features for the foreseeable future. I wish they had stuck with the DLC options every so often model rather than a cash shop and a battle pass. I don't see this going away, and I worry about what the new Dune MMO will have. Conan Exiles is not an MMO, it's a buy-to-play game that is either solo or done on a server with a limited amount of other players. I understand they need to make money to keep the game running, to keep it updated to some extent, but they could have done it with a more straightforward way like the DLC that they used to provide us. And that's it. That's all I have for you. I hope that you are enjoying some of the gameplay, especially the sorcery thing. I think it's very interesting. Anyway, that is it for me. I will talk to you later.
Thank you for watching. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Until next time, goodbye.